Day show. I am joined by the intrepid explorers Dale, Laura, and Maddie Waller. Welcome to our New Year's Don't Censor the Censors show. All right, everybody, sit back, relax, come on into the chat room, say hello, say happy holidays, Merry Christmas, Kwanzaa, whatever it is that you support, because we are going to have a fun time talking about, guess what? The power of censorship of spiritual people. Damn it. We are not going to be censored. We are going to be heard. But guess what? The powers that be don't want us to be heard. We did a show that was making fun of doom and gloomers, and it got hit for medical misinformation. Yes, everyone, a community guideline strike for a show about making fun of doomers and gloomers. What do you all think of that? Go on down to the chat room and tell us what you think about that type of weirdo censorship. So, Dale, let's start with you. You know, what was your experience? What did you feel like when you found that video was stamped medical and misinformation?
Well, hi guys, hello. So when I found out, it felt to me that before I was a lot cautious with my wording, and I feel like we've been very cautious throughout the shows, and Andrew has for a long time. And to be not censored, sorry, to have that strike against us for speaking out, not even against, we weren't even saying anything particularly against or for, it was just on about doomers and gloomers and people who are really negative and so on. So for me, it was a surprise, but for me, it was what we're going to do next, are we going to go to a different platform where we can talk? That for me was the feeling I had when I first saw it.
Laura, what about for you?
Mine was, woohoo, we're potent. We must be that potent that they need to take us down straight away, because the message is getting out there and people are listening and people are maybe being helped with it, and we must be doing a good job for them to take notice of us. So,
Addie, yeah, what about you?
I was concerned when they took down our Facebook page as well. I was just really concerned that we haven't really covered that dense subject matter recently either. And the idea that it could just be whipped away from underneath us was quite concerning to me, especially a lot of your videos and how much content you've had when you've never had this kind of stuff happen before. And it was, it really did catch me by surprise, I have to say.
It caught me by surprise too, but at the same time, it wasn't a total surprise because I knew inevitably it would be coming. And over the years, I have tried hard to stay away from the stuff that gets triggered. We're pretty sure it was Laura's revocation that triggered it, the medical misinformation. It also could have been the fact that people were talking in code, which I'm not going to repeat the code. Hint, hint, wink, wink. The this means this kind of thing, and that often triggers the algorithm to give it to you. And so we're going to talk about what are the effects of censoring us, and we want to interact with you guys today. This is a special off-the-cuff New Year's show. We decided to just plan and be with everybody, and what kind of content can we do that doesn't get censored? Or is everything censorable at this particular moment? Hello? You guys there?
Yeah. So I think as well, Andrew, what surprised me, another thing to add on to that, was when you explained to me the dealings of people who have had the strike before and what a kind of a bot goes in and scans all your shit. It was I surprised the shit out of me that there actually isn't any entity like living human behind it looking at it. It's all bots and it's all AI kind of technology. That was surprising for me. I never knew that.
Yeah. We got somebody spamming the chat room, Joel. Joel, could you boot that person that's spamming the chat room? Anyways, we've had other stuff. Hold on. He's using some kind of spam bot here. Once again, this is something else that happens. We all had that. My chat room's frozen up. I can't ban him.
I got him out.
All right.
think he's gone, hasn't he? Yeah.
Yeah, we have stuff like that happening that are trying to force channels to get shut down. Yeah, we had a porn attack on a couple different shows. And yeah, there are some people out there that are crazy and sicko and do that kind of stuff as a sport. So we find ourselves in these unique moments of what do we do as spiritual people who know that these types of things are out there that are trying to just get your channel taken down.
Well, you don't give up for one thing. And you don't change the message to fit their narrative either.
But
Because what
ultimately,
happens if you do?
they do hold a certain amount of power, though. That's the thing, isn't it?
Yep.
They can make life very, very difficult for you. If all your videos keep getting taken down, then your page starts getting taken down. Really, there's not a lot you can do unless you completely reinvent.
And I think the hardest thing as well is YouTube's so popular, and majority of people use YouTube. So if you're using that platform and like obviously this channel, and you get a strike and you're out the game or your channel's been deleted, a lot of people don't want to go over to other places. So you do lose a lot of. So like you say, Matty, is that it's quite I'm not nervous about it, but I do like being on YouTube just for that kind of reach, so to say.
The other thing is they don't hold the power, they hold the control, but we hold the power ultimately. And I think there is a difference in that. But it's that we need an answer to a temporary situation, don't we?
Right.
Which is another platform.
Absolutely.
Okay, hold on 1 second. Hold on 1 second here. I'm getting some private messages. Let me take care of something real quick. Go ahead and talk, guys, for a second.
And that's it. It's for me. So I've a show before I did the Talking Stick show. I've had Laura, Andrew on, and Matty before. I've always been a bit conscious of it, but for this, has made me being more aware of what I'm saying. So yeah, you're right, Laura. There is just that controlling aspect, which it's hard. It's like the system, isn't it? You're in it. They're listening. These bots are listening, and you've got to be fucking careful, because if you mention you know what I'm talking about, word or anything like that, that's it. And we all see those little the channels which just get banned left, right, and center. We've all seen them, and I really hope we don't become one of them.
And the thing is as well, it's not just, it's not what you're saying in the moment. I mean, we're conscious of it now, and we learn as we grow and we develop and we move on. But it's because of past videos as well, isn't it? We could be a year down the line and they could ban us for something that we said 6 months ago from now. That it just seems to be relentless. Yeah,
and we can't go into either gung-ho and lightworkery and we're going to say what we want and we're going to do this. I think we've got to find some balance somewhere so that we can. It's like, being in both worlds, isn't it? Living in the system world and living in the unseen world. So it's finding the balance between the two, and the platform that gives us that too.
And people can just use these really popular platforms for advertising or so forth, clips, little bits and bobs. I think we will see a migration away from some of these larger platforms.
Hold on a second. Dale, hold on. Dale, can you make Joel admin again?
Yeah.
His Zoom crashed.
No worries. Yeah.
Yes, everyone. Yeah. Stuff like that goes on all the time where we have to make sure everything's not going on.
Yeah, thank you, Catherine G. She said it does not stop me from being glad to be here with you all, which is what we feel too. And then we create a particular sort of frequency as well with everybody being here.
Yeah.
A potent frequency.
You've got those bots going off, Laura.
Yeah,
with your revocations.
Yeah. So Joel,
I've got another one to read.
Joel, you're probably going to have to lock the waiting room, I think. We'll see. We'll see how it gets undone. Anyways, yeah, they're now seeing live the things that we have to go through in the background just to put on a show. Just to put on a show.
It can be a challenge. It can be a challenge.
But it doesn't get us down. I've been doing this going on 11
No.
years. I've had worse happen. Okay. I've had a lot worse happen. Let me tell you. Okay. Okay. Are we touching somebody? Are we annoying somebody when we're doing shit like this? We're like people in the chat room to give us some feedback. What do you think is going on when we're attracting that type of people? Maddie, what do you think? What's going on when we're attacking people like that?
It must have some sort of unseen compartment to it. It may seem random. It may seem like people who are just targeting lots of different people, but there'll be an unseen element to it that's driving them in our direction.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, does the truth set off some sort of anti-resonance in them?
Yes, you can call it an anti-resonance is a good thing, that they believe they must attack. Why? Their own disbelief, their bullshit. There's so many things that you can describe it as. Over the years, I've had porn attacks, direct attacks on the website. I mean, there's still website attacks are still going on. They're just not going to get in. I locked everything out and did something that's going to annoy every hacker in the world, which is fine. You had to do it.
A wedgie
okay?
as they come in.
You get one sign-in attempt, and then you have to wait 72 hours later before you can try again. Okay, so no matter how far your brute force attack is, you're not getting into my cPanel. Yes, I've had to hire people to do that, to make sure that no one's attacking the back end. You know why they want the back end? So they can get to your merchant account. And once they have their merchant account, they can jack up products that they want to sell or just charge credit cards everywhere.
Wow.
And then collect cash. Okay. Has anybody here been censored in the chat room? Go ahead and tell us if you've been censored also. We're looking for people to go on and give us some shared stories. We will be taking callers at the end of the show, but we want to get into the nuts and bolts of what does it really mean when they start censoring what we're doing? How do we get it out to everyone if they're going to censor it? What is the audience ready to do to help us too? More than just visit YouTube. Like if we have to curate another channel, like right now we're curating a Rumble channel. You can go to Rumble and search for Galactic Historian, and you'll see our videos being duplicated there.
So for these people who are doing it, Andrew, have you said before that there's actually money behind it where they'd pay a group of people to do it and go out and do it?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Paid. That's what their job is.
What would you say percentages for paid people to not people who are just having fun? Not having fun, just being an absolute dick, pretty much.
That's a toughie. There are a lot of people who make money through the criminal world of the internet. So is being a criminal their job? Yes. So the percentage is higher that the criminals are doing their job, but they get they get their hard ass rocks off by doing things to people, like porn attacking a high school Zoom room. That was really, really popular during when all the Zoom rooms were opening up for high schools. Okay. Hijacking them and playing porn until the teachers just had to shut the stream down and no class today. Yeah. Or just what Facebook does or YouTube, assigning misinformation underneath your video and limiting its ability to make money.
And we're not the only channel to have been hit either, are we?
Oh, no. Thousands and thousands and thousands of channels have been hit.
So
Has
it's a
it
bit
come
like this.
particularly at this time? Sorry, Dale. Has there been, is there anything in the timing of this? There are quite a few hit at the same time. Is it anything to do with Christmas holidays or anything?
This is like trimming the weeds for big tech. And we're a weed to them. We are not a channel that they want to promote for whatever reason. Okay, we're not a desirable, we're an undesirable, even though they're supposed to be open to all. Okay, and it comes to this recognition that YouTube has changed the rules for so much over the time. Hold on, I want to get banned for what I'm saying about YouTube, that you actually don't own your material anymore. So if they make you ineligible for video, for advertisement, but there's still advertisements on it. I have many videos that are like that, ineligible, but they're still putting ads on them because they're collecting the money and not giving it to me. And this is one of the reasons that their business model works this way. The lower level channels make them money, and they don't want you to get to be a higher level channel. That's why they manipulate the algorithm.
So we have to be able to have a closed room scenario or like a private Zoom room scenario.
No. Zoom is just as hackable and just as corruptible as YouTube.
Yeah, I mean, like a Zoom room. I don't know the platforms out there as well as you do.
Well, I'll just let everyone know. Inevitably, we're going to switch over to Rumble, the more censor-free site. And we're going to have to ask people to stop using YouTube. Come listen over there. I mean, I'm sure we'll have some kind of transition period where we post over there and then have premieres back and forth to get people out of the habit of just YouTube. You know, we look at our statistics here, and what 92% of you watch through your phone, direct on mobile YouTube. Yeah, we get analytics. It says a lot. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And yeah, there's quite a few people that still will listen to us off of game consoles. Yeah. For all you on the game consoles, hello. Okay. Okay. Our busiest day of the people listening to us, even when we're not live, is Tuesdays, 10 o'clock in the morning. That's when everyone's catching up on shows.
And this has changed throughout the years on YouTube, hasn't it? It was a lot easier, say, 5 years ago to get yourself out there. Has it changed a lot in the last 5 years? And how they pay people as well?
It's gotten even worse.
Yeah.
Gotten way, 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 way worse. They're actively preventing channels from growing. Like our channel. Our channel should be well over 100,000. I have 20,000 subscribers, but the vast majority of them get no notifications or don't even see me in the side panel anymore, even though they're still subscribed to the channel. That's called shadow banning, or throttling the channel. Did you guys hear about YouTube's most recent debacle? A kid named Corey has lymphoma cancer and was stage 4 dying. And his make-a-wish is he wanted his YouTube channel to get to 100,000 subscribers before he passed. Right when he was at 99,000 subscribers, YouTube banned his channel.
Oh, Lordy.
Right. In which thousands upon thousands, Kraken Core, thousands upon thousands of channel creators went to the YouTube Twitter page and were screaming, how could you do this? You're evil beings. Do you know why they did it? They have a thing in there that throttles channels permanently. So no channel can rapidly grow. It's done on purpose. And it proved it. A Make-A-Wish kid dying of cancer was throttled. Okay. And they bring him back. They bring it back and said, oops. And the head of YouTube tried to fix things, but only made it worse. All her words were completely out of touch and destructive to the reality of what actually happened. I mean, the actual Make-A-Wish Foundation was a part of this kid, and it still couldn't penetrate YouTube.
So how come you have some people that are discussing this kind of material, particularly conspiracy theorist type people who are still operating as they were, still getting likes,
Let's give an example.
Still growing? Oh God, it's been such a long time since I've looked at any of them.
And most of them are still exactly where they're at when you stop listening to them. They don't actually grow.
Right.
That means they had organic growth before 2014. And once 2014 hit, they changed the algorithm and they stopped organic growth. Okay. And then you have people like Louder with Crowder. He has a TV channel and a radio show with actually syndicated radio to back up. So there's constantly new people coming in. Like some of those Star Wars channels, I watched them go from like 50 subscribers to 150,000 subscribers in 3 years. But Star Wars was an allowable topic. But as soon as they started, railing on Star Wars because Star Wars was awful when they did the actual, Disney version releases of them, their channel stopped growing. Same thing with the Lord of the Rings of Power. That was an awful TV series, awful, awful, awful. But you got many channels got banned for doing what? Making fun of it. Yeah.
Have you seen that guy called Mr. Beast?
Yes.
So he's got how many? He's got like 500 million, is it, or something ridiculous?
Something crazy like that.
Subscriber.
Yeah.
How long has he been on YouTube?
Out since like 2006. He was like one of the first people out. Yeah. 2008.
But that kind of person would then be quite heavily involved with YouTube themselves, wouldn't they? With that kind of reach.
No.
Really?
He has influence within YouTube, but nothing when it comes to policy setting or making.
No.
Like he just was on YouTube and asked Elon Musk to make him the next Twitter CEO, and Musk sent back, maybe. It's not out of the question. I would like him running Twitter. I don't know if he's a business manager or not, but hell yeah. Mr. Beast running Twitter. He can transform Twitter into something that can be a combination of YouTube, Facebook, link to your cell phone and bank account all in one. That's what Weeblo is about in China, or what was the other one? WeChat. Yeah. Where it's everything all in one. Rent videos, everything. Imagine if you had an all-in-one service for that. Would any of you guys use it?
More than likely.
Right. Okay. Cell phones can be replaced by laptops or other devices. You don't actually need an actual cell phone as long as you have Wi-Fi. And you can get a digital voice over IP phone number.
You've seen if quite a few people go over to like Russell Brand's on Locals now, isn't he? And he's got a Rumble account.
Rumble. Yeah. And Rumble. Yeah. And he's getting some pretty good numbers on Rumble finally. Because it's hard to get people out of their habits.
And I think he got a strike, didn't he? That's why he decided to go over against
a strike for reading the COVID guidelines from the National Institute of Health and the CDC. Their website, he was reading what it said, and that's how he got a strike.
Wow.
That's happened to a 1,000 channels have been from people reading what was on the CDC webpage. They got permabanned for it.
What's the least censored channel, Andrew? Is it Locals or Rumble?
Rumble. Somebody's asking, is it easy to get a Rumble account? Simple. Just go to Rumble and give an email and an address. And if you want to verify it with a phone number, you can, but you don't have to. Yeah?
It's so simple to use, isn't it?
Yes.
And somebody has asked why not Twitter.
Twitter doesn't have hosting yet. They don't host videos. You can't do longer than put up longer than a 10-minute video.
And Catherine G, do you mean Russell Brand when you said how does Russell do it? Because he's on Locals.
He's on Locals and Rumble.
Oh, he's on Rumble as well, is he? Okay, right.
Yeah. So it's really easy to sign up for Locals. It's just like signing up for any website. You enter an email address, and a password. Create an email, a password, and then you get something from your in your email confirming you created an account, and click yes, and you're set to go. And then you just find the channels you want to subscribe to. Like if you all want to right now, just go to Rumble, rumble.com, and search for Galactic Historian, and you can see all of our videos from YouTube being synced over. Because they have this special API that goes all the way back to 2014 and takes all the videos from the YouTube cloud and syncs them over to Rumble. I've got so many videos, it's going to take like a month and a half to do to link and sync all the videos.
So going back to, say, the creation of this platform we're on at the moment, what was the kind of creation behind it and the idea behind it? Was it kind of like to be a news channel? Not a news channel in a way, but to be filtered like that, where basically they tell you or control what you see? Is it always designed to be like that from the ground up when it was
You're
created?
talking YouTube?
YouTube, yeah.
No. It was a free to share site until Google took it over. But it had a very positive interactive algorithm. And in 2014, everything changed on YouTube. It is when they went from their corporate motto was "Don't be evil" to "Let's do evil." The complete and total change in 2014, early 2014.
It used to be that you could, if there was something that happened around the world, anywhere, you could type in that event, and you would see the actual video footage from people's phones, and actual real ground footage of normal everyday people. And after that, it just changed, and everything. It was just news channels.
All the global governments don't want their ugly sides being shown on live stream when they're shooting up the students. Like what happened in Egypt. That was in 2011. The Arab Spring Revolution scared the shit out of the big tech and out of because how easy it was to share what was going on. And then by 2014, it was all said and done. There's no such thing as an organic YouTube star anymore. It does not exist. It's a myth. And I'm serious. It's an absolute myth for you to become an organic YouTube star. It's impossible to be done. Not unless you're in the pay-to-play system, which is they want you to be putting $3,000 to $5,000 per month in their advertising engine. If you don't, you're throttled.
And so some of the ideas of say like Rumble or Locals is to kind of get away from those being made and created. Kind of people coming together and go, right, enough's enough of this bullshit. We need to get people over to actually have a natural organic kind of creation with it.
Yeah. So Catherine in the chat room, doesn't the debacle with the cancer kid wake more folks up due to the visible trickery? Yes. It's what I call transparent hypocrisy now, where they don't care if their hypocrisy is transparent. We've all known for years that they've been doing it, and now they're doing it and going, yeah, we're doing it, and there's nothing you can do to stop it. Has anybody read the Twitter files? What's actually there? The actual full-on collusion between the government, CIA, and all the big tech companies? It's absolute proof. Okay, the Twitter files are going to be a bigger dump than what Snowden did on them spying on us. This is what they did with the information from Snowden. They applied it to the social engineering systems and created YouTube algorithms that only promote the people that they want. Like, here's an example. Let's say I decided to create a VPN that blocked everything that I was going to create, logged into a fresh YouTube account from the United States, and let's say I just did pop culture stuff, Johnny Depp, Star Wars, woke Hollywood, et cetera, et cetera. I would get up to about 2,200 subscribers, and then I'd be done for months and months and months and months and months and months. And my videos wouldn't be going into the recommended files anymore, no matter what I did, unless I did YouTube Shorts. Okay, YouTube Shorts is like trying to replace Instagram. And Shorts don't actually pay you anything real, and they don't actually bring subscribers to your channel. So you're stuck creating content that isn't beneficial to your audience.
Can I just,
like, if I did a 30-second short, what are you going to learn from me in 30 seconds?
So when I used to search some of your videos back in 2016, 17, I used to be able to type in the words straight away and I'd find the video. Now I type in, like, say, your name and about, say, just Pleiadians or whatever. I type that in and you can't fucking see it anywhere. Like, no matter what I type in with your name, you can't see it anymore. And I used to be able to see it.
When paid YouTube came around, the paid YouTube, but before that, I had a giant audience in the Middle East. As soon as paid to YouTube came around, disappeared. And all of the Middle Eastern people from Iran, Afghanistan, Saudi Arabia, gone. They can't even see my channel anymore because their governments are blocking it from their source. Same thing in China. We used to have a really, really big regular contingent of Chinese watchers, about 75 every show. And these weren't rewatchers. These were from all different parts of China. Why not to Spotify? Spotify is never going to be worth it for podcast people, let alone for any independent music star. You will make pennies and only receive pennies if you're even lucky. Spotify doesn't promote you in their podcast list either, unless you pay. And you have to pay a lot to be in their level of broadcasting, and then accept the advertisers that they give you.
Unless you're Joe Rogan as well.
Yeah. So how would you feel if I started advertising Charmin toilet paper to you guys? Spiritual toilet paper. Or, are you doing your next cleanse? You need to buy the GH toilet paper. Okay. Or my barbecue rub. Or go buy gold. Knowing full well I tell everyone fucking gold is a ripoff. Don't buy gold. Buy land. Okay? Don't buy crypto. Okay? It's not for it's only for the big boys who have money to lose, not for the little people. Right. Am I commercial like Matt Damon? Like, what should be the Galactic historian in a fake commercial? I mean, we have lightworker merch now.
Yes.
Recovering lightworker merch.
We're currently
We
working
have
on a 12-step
hoodies,
program.
hats, shirt. Yeah, we have hoodies, hats, shirts, glove, mugs, coasters. Yes, recovering lightworkers.
Yeah, the t-shirts are great. No, it's all good.
We'll be posting much more information about that very soon with some more products as well. Matty's and we're all doing a 12-step program for recovering lightworkers. So going through each step.
Yes, Maddie is tolling away on the 12-step lightworker program.
It's going to be good stuff.
Yeah, you want to give us a little sample of some of the things that might be in there?
The astrology one, I love that one.
I haven't got my notes anywhere close by.
You know when we won't be censored, Andrew? On the coach tour.
Exactly, on the coach
Well,
tour.
you can say what we damn well like on the coach tour. On any of the coach tours. They can't do anything about that. And the other thing, if we did all the shows in light language, that would really give the bots a headache, wouldn't it?
Well,
They'd
try
still
to,
censor us.
Yeah, they try to take it away when I uploaded, because sometimes I find if I upload to YouTube first, then post that video on Facebook, it gets through. But if you upload direct to Facebook, they're brutal. And they've tried to, on videos I've made where they've actually taken the light language out, saying that I'm using copyrighted music. So, you know, there's even though it's not real, and you have the ability to be able to say, no, actually, that's not the case, but they still take it away and mess with your video for however long they do. And it just, you know, puts a spanner in the works, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Makes everything so much more difficult.
I'm surprised they didn't ban the recovering lightworkers show when we talked about all the different lightworkers and stuff like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
And the irony, my channel got hit, but Dale's YouTube didn't.
I took it down
And
and shit myself.
their Facebook channels got hit and mine didn't.
Yeah.
Okay? The oddities of it.
Yeah.
Why did they ban it? Medical misinformation. That was the reason that they said it. And yes, I contested it, but it doesn't matter. There's no real person on the other side. Yeah, we're talking about colonics and shitting and pooping and let's do stuff the light workers got a hold of.
And when they do come to banning people's channel, they just delete everything, don't they? And you just can't.
Yes,
go back.
I delete everything, and then all references to search engines on it too. Yeah, so they fuck you in the search engine too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. All right, guys. So we've covered the consequences of spiritual censoring. Let's kick the new year off with something positive. Let's all put on our little lightworker cap. Boom. Yeah. And think of something that we can put a smile on the face for people as we fart in the wind and let 2022 pass away like the fart in the wind, and we're going to create something new. what little treat can we give the people that we've got here in our Zoom room and all the other channels that we're live on?
Some Christmas
like
cake.
a preview of future shows.
Anything. Your creative cap is on. There are no limitations to your creative cap.
Why don't we talk about some of the stuff we're recording at the moment and creating and about to bring a first product out? That might be a topic to talk about, which is
Well, why don't
very
you bring it up?
exciting.
Why don't you just bring
so,
it up then?
So guys, so we've been doing a lot of pre-recording on Saturday evenings, and we've basically all come together and started doing lots of products. So there's various different healings, like psychic surgery, group meditations, guided meditations, and light language healings. So we're basically in the midst of doing some products and bringing that out, where you'll get a lot of content, a lot of videos, some extra videos as well. How far are we off bringing out the first product, guys? Is it
probably sometime next week or the week after?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Laura, do you want to add anything to that? And Matty?
No, I think
What's it like for you? What's it like for you guys in the background? You know, doing recording stuff from the first. Pull the curtain back. Show people what it's like. Because yes, I'm training all of them how to be radio hosts. I mean, Dale was doing it before, but they all wanted to come together and do this, and it all spawned from the, putting together the bus tour. And let's put together and put some shows together. They got to learn what it takes to create an email, what it takes to create a Facebook post, to tell people what it's like doing it. Yes, a living testimony.
So when we did the first recording, there's like a anatomy one where do all the anatomy bits, and Andrew just went straight into it, put us on the spot, and I physically felt a bit sick. And I was like, the things we were doing were so new, but it's made me expand, and my confidence has just got a lot better from it. So I did shit myself the first time we did the recording. I was like, this is so fucking new to me. Like, he was like, right, go. I'm going to get Laura, you go, Dale, you go, Matt, you go. And it was just continuous for about 50 minutes of guided meditation and stuff. And for me, I've done it before, but to have it recorded with the sound, like you can hear yourself, every little grain of noise we had to change. So for me, I did shit myself at the start, but now I'm used to it now. And I'm really enjoying it. I really am.
There are a few different factors to it as well, isn't there? Like, each one of us has our own unique way of doing things. And when we come together like this, it breaks that down. You can't just use your own flavor. You have to think on your feet. And one of the things is learning to be a presenter is one thing, but learning to be a presenter with Andrew is a completely different thing altogether, because he changes things all the time. So we can be ready to do some recording and had a week to think about what we're going to do, what we're going to say, what it's going to be like, turn up on the evening, and then it's completely changed.
U-turn, Andrew. U-turn historian.
Yes, that's the beauty of working with Andrew.
He is notoriously difficult.
You just don't know.
Do you know why? Do you know why it's changed?
Go on.
Do you know why it's changed? Because I came up with a better idea.
Yeah. So
Okay.
I used to go away and like try and look up stuff on the topic he'd given us, and in the end I thought I'm far better off just going for a walk beforehand, coming back relaxed, because Andrew will just like drop you in it, like the guy said, in the nicest possible way. And first of all, you have to decide, you're either going to be like a deer in the headlights and it's, oh shit, okay, I must know something about this. I must be able to come up with something. And what it makes you do is delve deep, and it makes you use your inner wisdom. And it's amazing what is in there when you're put in that sort of position, because none of it is rehearsed beforehand. Some of it is discussed, and then like the guys say, or Andrew's just said, we'll come up with a better proposition, and we go with that. And I just think in the end, we create the energy and the flow. And as Matty said, we all have our different perspectives, different voices, which makes the meditation or whatever it is, whatever product we're bringing out, it gives it its complete, lovely overall resonancy. doesn't it? Because it's like
That's it.
different frequencies in an orchestra.
That's it. And even off like listening to Andrew and how authentic you are, like obviously becoming your friend, you're pretty much the same off the camera as well. And it's such a friendly, outgoing person. Same with Matty and Laura. It's just a pleasure to co-create with you because we just take the piss out of each other and have a laugh. And there's no, we do a lot of work, but that seriousness isn't there. And we are work driven, we work hard, but we still have fun. And that's a relief. It's a nice relief to have that. Just to take the piss and have some fun with it as well.
Yes,
Yeah,
we've got an ongoing little ribs that we all have for each other. Dale can never get time zones right.
Not just Dale, Andrew.
No.
I have to whip them all into shape with time.
You're always the mum.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
So the putting on the spot, am I really putting you on the spot on a live show? Or is it just your turn?
But the live shows, being put on the spot on a live show isn't anywhere near as difficult as doing the actual paid product recordings without script.
Especially so when we were doing the anatomy, there was so many different areas to do. So you had to think of a new one for the next one. And then Andrew did one, Laura did one, Matty did one. You're like, fuck, like, what am I going to do next? So it really fucking started creating. I think the best thing for me was getting out the brain and just allowing myself to go into a flow. And that's one of the main things I've learned about being on shows and doing products, getting out of my head and just allowing that natural flow to come out. And working with Andrew, Laura and Matty has helped me do that, to be able to not have doubt anymore with what I'm saying. And sometimes I forget things, what people have said. I'm just a human. So that's helped me as well with that.
It's so difficult, excuse me. It's so different though, isn't it, Dale, compared to doing private sessions. So if ever I'm doing a private healing or a private session on somebody, I don't know what's going to happen. I'm not concerned about that either, because the narrative will show itself as it goes along. You know, it will unfold as you go along. But when we're doing this kind of work, it doesn't quite happen that way. I mean, it does eventually, but it seems to be, it's a little more difficult to just get into that space. Whereas with the private work, it just happens naturally. I guess it's a matter of practice.
Plus an audience. The audience does make a difference.
And then there's all the technical gremlins that come in. Right from the very beginning, Andrew said to us, you'll find there'll always be something that we have to adjust or sort out. Even when you think you've got it all cracked. Like today, I thought I had my green screen cracked and look behind me, I haven't. But yeah, it's how it goes. You're learning all the time. And it's just fun on this journey, learning and sharing it with everybody too. And to just developing that wisdom.
Yeah, and not letting the gremlins get to you. That's what I said to you. Yeah. Don't let it get to you. Don't let it. It's inevitable. It's going to be ongoing and ongoing and ongoing.
And it's nonsensical as well.
They'll be gone for months and then they'll come back.
And it is uncanny. I had a lapel mic that I was using for hours before we even started to do the recording. And then as soon as we started to do the recording, the mic just stopped working. And there's silly things like you might have to log out and then log back in again. Or, you know, just silly things that don't make any difference. And that's how you know when the gremlins are at play, because it's almost nonsensical, isn't it?
Right. The chaotic energy is so intense. Yeah.
Well, what I love as well, Andrew, is you are still teaching us and guiding us in the way you do it with us and the way we all co-create with you on these shows.
So where did the gremlins come from, Andrew?
Gremlin land, Gremlandia.
which is in what extra dimensional place or space? Are they created just for this reality, or are they come from elsewhere?
They're squatters. They squat in your reality until you do something about them.
And would they be on the same sort of realms as the post and precogs in that kind of?
No. They're both in time and outside of time. A lot of them live within servers, electromagnetic devices, your phone, because that's how they can harvest energy from you, or just create a chaotic situation which they can feed off of.
Are they part of the system, or are they separate from it?
No, they're a natural part of the world, but they have been given steroids by social media, cell phone devices, computers, interconnectivity from phone lines.
Mm.
You know, so
Who
they're
was
on
it?
steroids. They're on, you know, they're like, you know, WWE wrestlers in the 80s.
Ultimate Warrior.
Yes.
But in universal law, we could send gremlins to the gremlins, could we not?
Yes, you can. But that could backfire on you.
That's what I was just about to say.
Mm.
So one of the subjects that we brought that was on the advert for this show was, what are the actual spiritual ramifications for the censorship? Because there is a greater picture here. There is a grander awakening. Yes, it's an individual journey, but this is a unique moment in our space-time, isn't it? And so what effects is this censorship actually going to have? Because they can't just shut everything down forever.
Yes, again.
They're going to try it out, are they? Is it going to come down to person to person?
Mm-hmm. But that's what they want to have, is person to person censorship. That's what they're trying to refine it back down to. Censoring individual topics for individual reasons for individuals, so that you don't get exposed to a rebellic cause that they don't want you to ever even know exists.
Mm.
Example, like the riots that are going on in Iran or the Green Revolution.
Yeah.
They shut all that down because the rest of the world was supporting all the rioters.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, not rioters, all the protesters. They don't want to see support from the rest of the world. You know what recently happened during the World Cup games? China was watching it and seeing people in Qatar, no one wearing masks. 80,000 people in a stadium. All the parties that were happening, no one wearing masks, no forced vaccinations, no one welded into their apartment buildings. Okay, which has started a huge backlash over there.
Yeah, they've actually had to change some of the rules now, haven't they?
Yes, they're opening China back up because I might get medical misinformation for this, because they don't have a herd immunity. And they know that whatever is going on with their medicines didn't have the functionality that they want. And yes, I'm editing myself. Okay. And now they have no other choice but to open it up and gain herd immunity, which is going to be a big detriment to the whole world, because they're going to unleash all these trapped flus and common viruses that have been go around the world all the time with regular travel, but now they're going to be released in mass.
Mm-hmm.
What's it like for, Korean pop? Didn't they have like a time where they weren't exposed to the world for a long time? And
no one was listening to it, and then they took over YouTube. Okay, and Korean pop before 2014 used the algorithm to their advantage in the paid advertisements, and now their paid advertisements to get their K-pop band spread worldwide. Okay, this big industry behind K-pop. Really big industry. You know, record groups that'll spend, $20-30 million in advertising an album or a tour to make $700 million.
Wow.
Let me switch devices again.
So what do people in the Zoom room think about us going over to a different platform? Let's have some opinions on it. Would everybody
if you'd be willing to do that to get your GH fix?
So going over to Rumble, setting up a Rumble account, and going over to locals as well.
Yeah, both are really straightforward to join, aren't they, Dale? Both are really straightforward.
There's just not much point in us doing this if we can't say what we actually mean.
No, we can't change our messages of peace. There's no point if we have to change the message, is it?
Right. Somebody in the chat room was saying, I like emails. Well, guess what? My emails aren't getting out. It's not because I'm not sending them. Okay. Google has recently changed their rules, as well as many mail servers. If you were an authenticated email source, you have to re-authenticate. Okay? I've been authenticated since the very beginning, and now it doesn't matter. Okay, you know how hard it is to authenticate an email address? An emails are very hard, and you make one mistake, your whole thing is like. So 60% of my emails don't even reach people now. Yeah.
No, some people are getting them. Mm.
Yeah. So if you haven't received an email in a while, go and subscribe again. Yeah, I'm sorry about that, but there's nothing I can do to literally stop what the big tech is doing. Nothing.
And so, Andrew, would there be, because a lot of these big companies, like Google's a huge company, and they all have their own security departments, don't they, and militias and things like this.
Yep.
Would there be potential trouble for these places like Rumble and these other companies that are starting up that are offering
Yes.
censorship free? I mean, is it a risky business for those people?
Yes, it is a risky business for those people.
And this could
especially since they're a publicly traded company.
Right. And this could be the next challenge that we face, where these companies can get so big that smaller.
That's what happened to Patreon. That's what happened to Patreon.
Right.
Yeah. They get taken over by a multinational corporation that changes the culture inside. Who's getting to test the brain chip? Not me. I was in the chat room. Yeah. Well, let's get out of the doom and gloom of censorship and talk about something fun. Let's spin the wheel of conversational topics.
It was a bit dreary.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm putting all of you on the spot now, and everyone in the chat room too. Still no answer.
Well, we can't say much more about the coach tour because we haven't got any. No, okay, because that is cheerful. That is cheerful news, though.
That's at the coach tour side. Haven't sent us the final contract yet.
We call they're
probably still they're still afraid of. Yeah, they're still afraid of what's going to happen in 2023, and they want to sign contracts until they've gotten their side secured. I've never had a coach tour company like ever take this long to get back to us. Never.
So no.
So we're still.
How about some New Year's resolution type stuff? Like, what are people going into the new year wanting to do?
I want to leave
detoxing.
Yes, leave 2022 behind.
Yeah.
And embrace 2023 for what it's going to be. Freedom in a way 2022 wouldn't allow to have, and we have to create that freedom.
And it does feel that everyone has a bit of a life review at the end of December, don't they? What they need to change and do. That it usually lasts for about 2 weeks, and they just give up and go back to how they were before.
So somebody wants me to talk about Andrew Tate. Well, the Matrix came in and got him. He was arrested, even though he was never handcuffed. He wasn't charged, and he was let go the same day. So, well, he'd also been wailing on the World Economic Forum upper guys, and that was a slap saying stop, or we're going to put you in jail, and we don't care if you're a criminal or not. That's what happened. Not been charged. He's not even been detained. He can still leave the country. What does that tell you about where they are with the law enforcement? And Romania is notorious corruption in the police.
How did his videos get so big, though? Because I remember at one point I kept seeing them just out of nowhere. Would he put some money behind it all?
Yes, he was putting about $8 million.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yearly or more. No, he wasn't swatted. He was basically he flies in and out of the country all the time, and there's no record of him going in and out, because that could be very easily done in Romania. When you have money, there's no record of you entering, leaving the country. And he was in the country, and they knew it, and they went and got him under trumped up charges. That's what happened.
And it was all over the news. Every single news outlet was reporting it. It was literally everywhere about his arrest.
Kate's father was CIA. I don't care. Doesn't matter to me. Everybody could be CIA or not. I'm me, and whoever else is going to be ever else. I mean, at this particular point, it doesn't matter to me who is or isn't. They're all going to get exposed sooner or later, what they are or aren't.
The Black Knight satellite. That's pretty cool.
That's so old.
It is.
I mean,
old.
Pepsi did a commercial. Even Pepsi did a commercial on the Black Knight satellite. Come on.
It looks like the Mayan stuff to me.
This is an interesting question from Sarah. How does our alone journey manifest an improvement in the global narrative? I don't know it does, because your alone journey is your journey.
Unless you're sharing your alone journey live on a show.
Mm.
And then your alone journey has observers who are doing what?
Entangling.
And what does that entangling mean? Energy exchange.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And therefore, that journey, even though you're still a lone journey when you're having to do the inner things and reporting on it, as long as you're not regurgitating teachings and truly learning from them, the alone journey is still an alone journey, but you're sharing it with people on the way. That's the part of the way fame works. You're sharing your growth.
Mm-hmm.
Look at what I was doing in 2012 when I was first doing shows then compared to doing them now. Okay. What was it like when you guys were first listening to me back in 2012 and 2013?
Oh, it was incredible. Everybody wanted their galactic history read, and you did it. You just went
and I did it
as well.
Yes.
And a lot of content, like conveyor belt of content and stuff every week, and yeah, it was incredible. There's a lot of stuff to listen to as well, which was good.
But it opened up to new reality mechanics. So each individual person that had their galactic history read opened up new subject matter that we'd never heard before, and it was so different to anything else that was coming out from anybody else that it just set itself apart, and it just made the other stuff look like kindergarten. You know, people talking about the Pleiadians, this, that, and the other crystalline technology, and then you hear Andrew actually talk about the societies and in their actual expression, and it makes so much more sense.
The lightworker.
Yes, and moving away from instant gratification. Even when you speak to Andrew, you don't give you anything. And if you're looking for instant gratification, you won't fucking get it. If you wanted validation about the Pleiadians, you basically get your two fingers, say fuck you. You're not getting it. Do your own work.
Even when you know him, he doesn't. No, I'm not doing that today.
It was like
I give hints. Give hints.
You do give hints, yeah, you do. But we still have to do our own work.
And what about the stream read? Do you want to talk about the stream read? What's happening with that now, Andrew?
There's at least three comments asking for it.
I'll tell you the truth why I stopped doing stream reads. For as high frequency as it wasn't doing anything. And I've learned over and over and over and over and over again, I have to savor my high frequency moments. Yes, you can connect to it. It's still not doing its intended purpose, though. Okay? It's 150 years ahead of its time.
Mm-hmm.
Could I pop out a stream read right now? Sure. What's it going to do? In all reality, what is it going to do?
Shut us down.
Go so high frequency, you're all going to shut down and not hear anything afterwards. And it'll be another hour and 15 minutes of the show where you're all like,
you're just going to fart it out. That's what'll happen.
All right. Even when I put it out as a single clip. Okay. Even when I put it out as a single clip. Are people getting nurtured and nourished from some of that? Sure. But they're not generating their own connection through it. That was its purpose. And they weren't bridging their way through it. I could tell because I look, okay, you put the high frequency out. No, we've got no immigrants to the other side from it. Fuck. We tried another way and another way and another way. So I'm sure it made connections for people, but it didn't help you immigrate. And I use the word immigrate to the other side. Okay. It means full on immigration, get your citizenship there. That was the whole reason I was using that high frequency. Here's your doorway. Here's your doorway out, motherfuckers. Be like Porter. Be like the Cubans boat crisis. Get on a boat and go. No one made boats. Yeah, the time travel instructions. I did a lot of that too. Yeah. Anyone can time travel. It's really simple.
Do you look at the audience, still past, present, and future?
Yep. Before a show goes live, I peek to the future and see what its potential is. But that potential can be changed with every time somebody types something into the chat.
Yeah.
It's an evolving potential. So for people that know me, you are the potential, not me.
And
so if you realize you are the potential, not me, I will match your potential.
That reminds me of my first reading a long time ago with you, Andrew. I remember those words which I still remember now, and throughout the months I say them to myself. Is you were telling me when I actually learned to be the experiencing being and all the experiences are mine. And that was one of the great bits of information I've had, what's really helped me, realizing that I have to experience it myself. Or what you're doing, I have to do it myself. You're not doing it for me. Matty's not doing it for me. You have to be that experiencing being. And that's something the last few years, which has really opened up for me.
No. And that's the other reason with the stream reads. You got to do it yourself. I've given hundreds of examples of doing it over years, and I stopped doing it because I realized I wasn't doing what was intended to do.
Yeah, that's what a lot of that high frequency stuff did for me. It inspired me and showed me, even when I didn't completely understand it, it just showed me that there were higher and greater levels that one can go to and basic mechanics of it as well. So I was able to try and replicate some of it in my own way.
That would be good homework for everybody to go away and write a stream read.
Stream read your cat.
Stream read your own self in the show. That's what a stream read was in the moment and all the potentials of the audience that were listening at the individual time, and me going, all right, I'm going to up the game 10,000 fold. 10,000 folds, not enough. Let me go 100,000 fold. Oh shit, no one's listening. They're all asleep.
Meow.
Meow. On my own again.
That's all you get.
Everybody's cats in their lap listening to me, but they're out. Okay. I mean, from my point of view, I mean, there are shows that I sneak really ultra high frequency in for just a handful of minutes just to see what's going to go on. And how do I put it? You don't tune out. Your ears, your spiritual ears kind of just have a selective hearing that's too high for me. And they can't process it. Some can, but they're still not processing it with the way I'm intending it to do. Here's your instantaneous access to high frequency. Match it, bitches. Match it. If you can match it, you can go to the other side. That's the challenge. That's
We do the light language recordings for about over an hour of doing light language of the frequency after you're like, oh, fuck. Yes. Back in the day, 2013, I used to find it hard to go into that, but now it's a lot more comfortable. Took me a long time to be able to be comfortable with it. So what's it like for you still switching off, Andrew, from everything? Does it take a long time to shut down still from doing shows or doing high frequency?
It takes a very long time to shut back down. A very, very long time to shut back down. In fact, this last 2 weeks, was very hard to shut down. It was really only the last 4 or 5 days that I was actually shut down. When you're doing a show for months and months and months and months and months and months, and then you finally have a 2-week break, you're so into that schedule of Thursdays high frequencies, recording days this day, sessions are these days, and there's a body rhythm to enter that high frequency every day. And that's my job. My job is spirit, and spirit is my job. And we were talking about this in the thing. So around 9:30 in the morning, no matter what, my spirit is raising to enter that high frequency state because it's so trained. The body is so trained to do that. And then to go, nobody, you don't have to do that today. This is my time, my day, my uniqueness. I do my spiritual practice, but I'm also working 45, 50 hours a week in the spiritual work that I do. So there's a fine balance. Like yesterday, I went out and did a fire, but it wasn't a spiritual fire. It was just a bunch of rednecks with burning couches in a giant fog storm, which was awesome. Okay. None of them were spiritual, and seeing the spiritual moment where the fog, because the fire was so hot, the fog couldn't made a big dome around us. Okay. Because the fire was so hot. And then we're dumping couches on there, and some of the fire's 45, 50 feet tall, and, incredible energies, but they're all a bunch of rednecks. They couldn't feel jack and shit and didn't care. Okay? That was wonderful for me. Okay. Yeah. I didn't have to explain the uniqueness of the sacred fire. Blah, 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 blah. It was just fun to be a pyro.
The sacred couch.
The sacred burning couch. Exactly.
And that's so important for this, like on the spiritual journey, and what I've learned, how to truly switch off from it, and how important switching off from it is, to be able to switch off from everything and just do human 3-dimensional stuff and enjoy it as well. That's been a big challenge for me, and I'm sure a lot of people listening. Does anybody switch off for one day? Maybe put in the chat if you do.
Well, switching off is a process that you can do all throughout the day as well. It's like Andrew was just talking about, it's much akin to when you set your alarm and you wake up just before your alarm goes off, that natural body clock that, that brings you that. It's the same with the skill set as well. So when you're trying to force the skill set, the lightworkery kind of concept where you're trying to do a stream read for everybody that you meet. Hey, man, let me just show you how psychic I am. That forcing of the energy. And now very much so, it's almost like, you don't really even have to engage anything. It will just arise as it does naturally. It's a natural process, on and off, on and off, on and off, and it has its own peaks and its own troughs.
And the thing too is, if you actually do take that time off, it gives you so much fuel and life force for your next lot of spiritual work.
Exactly.
Yes,
exactly.
And also, sometimes we just have to go through some human experiences which aren't necessarily going to relax us or make us feel ready to enter back into spirituality, but sometimes we've just got human things to do, human experiences that don't require psychic skills.
Yeah, be one with the potato in you. You should get your inner couch potato guide.
Yes, beach whale.
Or dramas.
Yes.
Or children.
I sent them all that to chat room. How are you feeling like beach whales on Christmas Day?
Still digesting our food.
Hit with a harpoon now.
Come on to blows.
So Dawn's asked, how do you prepare for the high frequency? So that's right back to the Andrew's basic teachings, which is daily practice, building on that. So have your daily practice, your prayer practice every day, build on that day after day. And then Andrew's got so many videos out there, also on Two Feathers Medicine. If you want to come on, we do shamanic teaching. It's a process, Dawn. It's a process of doing all the inner work. Yeah.
A long and involved process that requires commitment, courage, self-healing, self-nurturing, so you can master the self. There's your equation in language. 1 + 1 = 2. Do practice, learn frequency. Learn frequency, understand how your frequencies go up and down. Learn what your high frequency is, and on a regular basis, challenge yourself to go a little bit higher and higher frequency until such a time you've done enough repetition to know what your lows and your highs are, and then go, all right, I have to up myself another scale and challenge myself to respect my commitment to get to a higher frequency through my spiritual practices. And that comes through doing a variety of things, not one mono. I meditate and that's all I do, and I call myself spiritual. You got to have a variety of things that teach you how to gain high frequency. Like when I do stream reads, it's not one frequency, it's thousands of frequencies at the exact same time, making a harmony. That's why it's such an intense frequency.
And you've got to be your own self barometer. You've got to self-challenge and check yourself. And hold yourself accountable.
Mm-hmm.
And everything.
Why are high frequencies followed by low?
Mm.
Because you ran out of high frequency.
Yeah.
That's the other reason you practice. You learn you can get an empty tank.
Mhm.
And sometimes it costs a lot of energy just to raise that frequency and reach that peak, and boom, you're out.
Yeah. And there's other times when you just you think there's a desire to go high frequency, but you just can't, and you just know
Can't.
not today.
That's why I created longer revocations like the consciousness strike, the Mandela revocation that takes you about a half hour to 45 minutes to read out. You have to maintain it. That's what I call the triathlon of spiritual training.
Yeah.
Okay. You have to have mental toughness, physical toughness, spiritual toughness, and the capacity to stay committed to doing all of those different forms of toughness that do what to you? Harden your energy's frequency to stay high and remain high until such a time that you can naturally lower your frequency and not be burned out.
But you're not doing it alone, Dawn. You're not doing it alone.
No.
Remember, you've got a whole unseen world out there. Your good, true, and beautiful ancestors to call on. It's that connection. It's that co-creation I'm always on about, which is dancing with the universe. That's so important. That's vital. That's our whole way of organic, natural evolution. That the universe is constantly changing, and we must change and move with it.
Mm-hmm.
Just requires effort.
And it will just assist you. Yeah, just assist you all the time if you ask and you do the work. Equal energy exchange.
And working on traumas and not avoiding traumas, and always looking into them through the year and going back to them and adding more onto it until it gets to the point where that trauma isn't in your field anymore. And that's helped me become more high frequency, going back and working on all the times I was broken, working all the times I needed fixing and stuff like that. And it is a process of doing it. And say, if you calculate up all the time you do 6 days a week, 5 days a week, the next year, just think how many hours you're going to do on yourself. And each year just building that momentum. And yeah, it's incredible. It really is.
That momentum has to be maintained.
Mm-hmm.
Once you let your momentum wane is where people fall back into the light worker. I'll do it tomorrow. Tomorrow's not a day on the calendar, is it? And if you tell yourself that every time you say, I'll do it tomorrow, tomorrow's not a day on a calendar, and then you make whatever you're going to do a day on the calendar, and then you follow through with it. Because there are a lot of people, they have their job takes so much out of them. They don't have anything left when they get home to do spiritual work. And they really have to reach down into their deep reserves to do it. And then when they do, they don't do it with a smile and enthusiastic effort. One meditation or one contract revocation has the real frequency and authenticity of you behind it is far more effective than 100 of them without you behind it. Think about that. Yeah. Yes, there are times you have to commit. All right, I have to reach in deep. Part of the greater journey is seeing your endurance. When times are tough and energies are low, even just a repetition without frequency, it does give you something back, what you put into it. So it's a net zero. You may not be gaining, but you're not losing. Until such a time, it's net +1, net +5, net +5,000.
Yeah.
It doesn't cost you energy to do a revocation. Revocations bring energy back based off of how authentic you are with the words and the understanding of them.
And you'll see when your self is trying to block you as well. I still, to this day, I will sit down to do one of my meditations and my mind will say, oh, I can't be bothered to do this, or this is going to be difficult, and wants to just turn it off instantly. But I refuse to allow that to happen. Once I've started something, I'm following through with it. And that's my commitment to it. And sometimes everything inside the internal programs are screaming for me to stop.
And that happened to my journey at the start. It was a chore and I didn't enjoy it. And I remember doing it and I was like, it's just boring. Then it got to the point where I just had a smile, had repetition, and I fucking really enjoy it. Every time I do it, there's not that feeling of, oh, it's a chore. It's just that knowingness, right? I have to do this and it's kind of like just playing over with me now. Each day I have to do it. I have to do it. Over Christmas, I did have a little bit less time on Christmas Day, Boxing Day, but I always do that every year where I just tone it down a little bit. Christmas Day, Boxing Day, then I go straight back onto it. the day after. So not beating yourself up about it. I used to beat myself up a lot of times if I did a mistake or anything like that. Just forgive yourself, get back on it, keep doing it. Even if you've missed a few days, just continue, get back onto the journey.
Right.
And that can ruin things for people when the zealot side starts to take over. So there's an equilibrium and a balance between it. You must make the effort to do the work, but when the work becomes the chore, then the work isn't really working at all. There are times with my workload that I have now is much higher than it has been over the recent years. And so when I find myself inspired to pray, I look at the altar and I think, yeah, do you know, I really want to sit there now and pray and make some offerings. Then it's so much more potent than forcing myself every day to sit there and come up with some sort of dialogue. It's just not helping me. So I wait for those moments of inspiration, and that's, you know, it's like Andrew was saying, it's tenfold what it would be otherwise.
And you
sometimes
can
a
prepare for your
thousandfold.
Sorry, Andrew.
Go ahead.
You can prepare for your low times in advance as well. So in your like hours of power, your hours of joy, or around your fire, and creating healing to be able to send forward in time to yourself. And then when you get those low times, you can call on that healing. So if you're using like your really, really potent time, and then build that and build on that, and then send that forward as a healing and collect it when you need it later.
And I love those times where I do feel a bit down and I'll say a prayer to bring me up, and I'll feel so fucking good when I'm saying the prayer, and I'll be crying and I'll be having to go into those layers to bring me out of it. And that's me using it to help me. And before I wouldn't do that, but now there will be times where I'll start saying prayer to bring me out of what I'm in, and start whatever I'm going through. I'm wanting to speak about it in prayer, and I'm enjoying it, and it's helping me. And I think it's getting to that state, isn't it, where the work's helping you greatly and protecting you as well.
And the prayer process just becomes a part of who you are, because sometimes I will just have an angry prayer. You know, there's, you know, I don't always just try to transmute. Sometimes I'll just say just exactly what's on my mind and how I feel. The amount of times I've called spirit a bitch, you have no idea. Kicked off and screamed about it, you know? Fuck you, motherfucker. This is not what I want.
Now you know why I say it.
Honestly. Throwing shit at dragons. Fuck off.
Yeah. So the journey for, because somebody was asking before about, you know, what's it like shutting off. For me, this particular holiday it had its own challenges. The getting a copyright strike before. Robert, my former producer, as people may not know, he passed away just after Christmas after a 2-month bout with cancer. 2 months diagnosis to death. We wish him well in his journey. And I got my tears there. Had some good times with him. But at the same time, I had to find how to shut it off. How to not let that change this holiday season that I needed to have off, because I had a hard year, guys. It was a very challenging year. But during this challenging year, I found great bouts of light through my personal writing. I as people know, I do fantasy type writing, like Lord of the Rings style. And I got to a point, I'm like, I need to create something new. I created a world, just so you know, because I can write, I can create brand new characters, and I have a whole history for the world. And I decided to go back to one of my old ideas, which was the gremlin hunter. So we have talked about gremlins on the show before. Well, in this particular world, gremlins, they're the lowest level of evil bad guys. They're the street street pickpocket type people, but they go after people's outhouses like the mafia. So imagine, you going out to do your morning duty into your outhouse and it explodes while you're in it, or a cone of fire will shoot out your ass and put you up through the top of the thing. And they will hold outhouses hostage. So it's called the outhouse wars. That's what they create. And this particular character hunts them. Okay. And he's very well known for that. And I took this story with the comedy of the toilet wars and all that stuff, where all the high magic people are doing stuff, but they hire gremlin hunters to defend their outhouses. Yes. Holy shit. Okay. And I was able to have so much fun just going into the potty humor and creating weird magical situations where the gremlins are creating fecal monsters. Yes, your own fecal elementals, defecation elementals. Your own poop becomes animated and attacks you. How would you feel about that? It's terrifying, right? So I had incredible fun getting back into that and creating a storyline through that. And over the last, 7 days, I probably wrote about 25 pages, 30 pages. A lot of it's dialogue. So it's really probably 17 pages if you were to combine it all into one. But it was so much fun. So much fun to just let that side of it flow. And I'm writing 3-4 hours a day and then still having to go and do holiday stuff, prep for the house. And then we had this massive winter storm come on Thursday. So it was 2:00 in the morning and it's 41 degrees here. At 3:30 in the morning, it was 22 degrees. And at 6:30 in the morning, it was -2 degrees. It was raining the night before and everything flash froze. And then we got 50 and 60 mile an hour winds with about 20 inches of snow falling. You couldn't go anywhere. The roads were shut down. I tried to sneak out before it got really bad and just drive to the local grocery store to just get a couple extra things. And the lines were so busy. I'm like, fuck it. I'm not going to wait 2 hours in lines for this. And we had a cozy Christmas. Okay. We were going to go out and do a Chinese Christmas dinner. It was the thing that my uncle wanted to do this year. It's something when he used to live in California, they used to go out to restaurants for their Christmas dinner and have Chinese or Indian or whatever. And so it was the first time all of us were going to go to one restaurant instead of somebody having it at their house. And we had to have a plan B. Okay. Luckily, I had a lamb inside the extra freezer, a leg of lamb, and poof, the rest came together. But nobody could go anywhere. No one came to the house because it was too risky. It was -22 blowing wind and roads are shut down. And, even my uncle and my brother, they're still 45 minutes to an hour away. So none of them were going to drive in that either. So yes, I wrote stories. That's what I did to disconnect. Stories about outhouses under siege. Even the king's outhouse, the king's privy. Okay. And they're
riding
like
on turkeys,
right.
Was it?
Yeah, right. Riding on that's further down in the story. So they will enchant turkeys and chickens because the gremlins are really small. They're like 2 feet tall. And so their version of horses are like turkeys and chickens. So imagine something that's, 2 feet tall on top of a big turkey with a lance, looking like a knight. It's a battle turkey or a battle chicken. Okay.
That'd be
So-
formidable if you were that height.
Films.
That'd be absolutely formidable.
They can be because they're very fast. You ever try to chase a chicken or a turkey?
Oh,
They go
I've had a
40, 50
cockle-
mile an hour.
I've had a cockle come and get me. It's incredibly
Yes.
powerful.
Well, these chickens can breathe fire. Not long, not like 20, 30 feet, but 5, 6 feet. So they're mad. They've been enchanted with magic. So they could be a formidable force. And this particular character taught them how to ride turkey vultures. I don't know if anybody knows what a turkey vulture is. It's a giant vulture with like a 15-foot wingspan. It's huge. They're all over here in Ohio. And so their turkey vultures are their dragons. And you know that turkey and chicken still fly. They're gliders. They can get running and then they can glide 40, 50, 60 feet. Or if they're up high into a tree, they can glide down.
And so I have to clip their wings.
Yeah, that's why they clip their wings. Yes, they're often, Don is asking, they're often confused as eagles. Yeah, but that connected into that hyper creativity, that uniquely Kid Andrew side. I'm creating an entire character-driven story arc where it's not about the high magic, the high people, but all the high magic people are going, what the fuck's going on? Why is my toilet's under attack? Hire this person. And then this person comes in and clears up everything and then moves on. And, story after story after story after story. And then he gets a reputation worldwide. And then he's getting an invitation to go to the Chinese court to take care of the Chinese gremlins or something to that effect. Yes, the toilet siege. So he will like be a sniper, like hidden up in a tree somewhere, waiting for the gremlins to go in or out or get around the outhouse.
How
And
long
then I
have you been
create
creating this,
then I
Andrew?
oh God, I created this world in 2007. I have like 3 or 4 books written in it, like probably like 1,200 pages of actual character-driven dialogue and stuff. But again, I wrote for me then. I didn't write for a world. I didn't write for an audience, which is, I hear all the time that's the best way is write for yourself, not write for everyone else. But that's my flavor of fantasy world. The lowest magical person wants to prove they can be the highest magical person. It's all the same at the end if you win.
Was it something you did when you were younger, growing up, or was it?
I played a lot of like Dungeons and Dragons, Vampire the Masquerade. I don't know if you know what those are. It's character driven stories. So yeah, that was a commonplace. But I also did plenty of other things too. It wasn't my life. But I also read a lot of books when I was young. I'd probably read 2, 3, 4 fantasy books a week at time at my peak. And if you've never listened to an author named R.A. Salvatore, you can look him up. He wrote a whole bunch of outstanding books in the fantasy realm. Blow your mind level good writer. Yes, R.A. Salvatore. Yep. You read his I Strahd series, Blow Your Mind. It's about a vampire that takes over and the darkness that he's got to go through. And then what it took to defeat him. Because he's not a good guy. Not a good guy. But he tells the story from the bad guy's point of view.
Yeah, I like that.
That was awesome. That was unheard of. You're telling a fantasy story, the entire story from the bad guy's point of view. And he's talking about the Knights of the Light and and how worthless they are. And then you switch over. He's like halfway through the book, he switches over and gives you the point of view from the hero's side. Yeah. Okay. So it's like, whoa, that was really cool the way he transitioned into it. Forgotten Realms. Yeah, this one from the Forgotten Realms one. Well, shall we take some calls?
Yeah.
Yeah, let's do that.
Well, you guys are going to be in charge of the callers. I am making the transition away from selecting or having Wheel of Callers.
So
we got a hand.
So with my smooth radio voice, if you'd like to join in and have a chat with us, raise your hand, please.
One so far. Need more than that. Keep going. Any topic.
So would you like to pick, Laura?
Well, I think we have to have Sean as he put his hand up first.
So Sean, we are giving you
Come on down, Sean Bibby.
Mr. Bibby.
Yay.
Yay.
We love your ASMR voice, Dale.
Oh, thank you. Thank you, darling.
I just want to talk about Christmas, or like the holidays between Christmas time and New Year's. They are so relaxing and fun. And they can be so relaxing and fun.
I agree, Sean. I've always loved between Christmas and New Year. It's got a certain sort of magic about it for me.
Yeah, and I've missed out.
Well, most people are relaxed. Sorry, go on.
Or hungover.
Oh, just because I've missed out on more than one. And it's just like, damn. Like, because I'm off doing nothing. But there's so much fun when you get to have that close feeling. And then when you get the blizzard, oh my gosh.
Yes.
Oh my gosh, it's like magic. I don't know how I got home because I left Toronto and I woke up in the middle of the night. Well, my mom was freaking out like the biggest storm ever was coming. She's like, you have to leave 2 days ago. And I woke up in the middle of the night it's still raining. It's still raining. I woke up in the morning. It's still raining. It's like plus 2 degrees outside. And by the time I got home, it was minus 15.
Jeez.
And it was the longest drive ever.
Was you driving in the snow?
Oh, yeah. Well,
it's
like
not fun.
as soon as I got out of Toronto, it started snowing. And then like where I'm from, we're near the lake, like where my family is, and they just get the snow. They get dumped. They just get dumped.
Yeah, you got the same thing I did, except you got it 6 hours later than I did.
Oh, wow. And like, I don't know how I made it home, but I made it home. And then as soon as I got there, no one's going anywhere. It was pretty fun.
Yeah.
Over in the
I would
UK
like
here,
another-
everyone was.
I would like another week added between end of Christmas and New Year's.
Yeah.
So I want to vote for that. We add another week at the end of the year.
Yeah.
You know, December 35th. That's when
December 38th, we need to go. We need to go to December 38th.
December 38th, the new year, of course. Just like that.
Exactly.
But oh my gosh, we went home. Well, I went home, and a lot of people couldn't make it. So everyone's Christmases or everyone's plans just got chaos magicked. Yeah, like yeah, they got ruined, and they had to make new plans, and there was bickering because everyone had to make plans on the spot, and it was just a good old family debacles. And oh my gosh, my dad just got this thing called a gator a little bit ago. It's like a off-road vehicle kind of thing. And it's one of the ones with 6 wheels.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, so we got one of these and we took it out in the snow and the drift because nobody's on the roads.
Yeah.
Like absolutely just street lights and drifts. And we just got out and pushed this thing so many times and broke it in fully and joy rode and knocked on random neighbors' houses and showed up.
That's awesome. That's awesome when you do anything like that.
Oh, it was just ridiculous. Like we made so many memories, and I learned a valuable Christmas secret because things got very cathartic that night. There was like so many things, emotional things happened within the family. And long story short, Dad was in the doghouse hard the next day, and everything was at the lowest of lows. But we played Yahtzee later, and man, that rattling of the Yahtzee can break up stagnant energy like nothing else. So if things are going really shitty, just play some Yahtzee. Breaks it up. Don't play Monopoly. You might lose your marriage. But but play some Yahtzee. I was blown away how everything came back together so well. And then it was just a fun, great weekend. A few days. How about you guys?
Over in the UK here, we've had some sort of an illness that's just swept across the country. And for the last 2 weeks, everybody's been having kind of symptoms, just like the last virus. But it just ruined Christmas. I myself, for the whole 3 days, for Christmas Eve, Christmas and Boxing Day, was completely ill, bedded down. And now all my kids are all now, struggling. And it just seemed like everybody was sick, didn't it, Dale? It just swept across the country.
I know a lot of people who have had COVID and got really, really ill over Christmas, like really ill for quite a while.
I've had a runny nose for quite a long time, actually.
Yeah.
Like off and on, but it's a long one.
Yeah, I've had a stuffy nose going on too. That's why I had to get this nose inhaler thing so I could actually breathe through my nose.
What's that thing called?
A benzodrine inhaler.
Oh yeah.
You can just get it. It's over the counter.
Yeah. Just some days, right? Some days you just want to breathe.
Yeah, you just want to breathe.
But that storm was epic. Like literally, there was so many the drifts, and it didn't snow. Like it snowed a lot, but it was blowing more than it was snowing.
Right.
And
we had continuous 50, 60 mile an hour wind gusts for 4 days.
Yeah. Yeah, and the drifts just piled up, and some of the roads were like you'd see the road, and then you would see 1.5 foot drift for 60 meters, like like 60 feet, and then road again. It was a lot of fun, a lot of pushing.
Yeah, so here we actually had thunder and lightning inside the snowstorms in the winter.
No way.
Yeah.
Like the
For, like,
prophesized winter lightning, you had it.
Winter lightning. I mean, you could look
Fucking
up and
A.
see, holy fuck, that's lightning, and that's thunder, and going on for hours and hours and hours.
I might have not seen it, but that's what it felt like. It was awesome.
Yeah. Thunder snow, yes.
Storm bomb.
It's and when the winds are blowing and the snow is like that, the cold, so the layers between reality become very thin. And for me, when there's a holiday season and that energy bleeds through, it's a very positive thing for me, at least. I enjoy being in that energy and being in that high creative frequency. That's why I was able to, with all the stuff that was going on, to go into that energy and enter that creative space for the joy of doing.
Yeah, especially when you're in like that holiday mode too. Like you're not on the workaholic beaver bastard. You're like just like you have that high creative energy, but you're with your family, you're with your friends, and that's when the memory machine starts happening. Because everyone's just, next thing you know, something goofy happens and more chaos magic comes in, and you don't know what's gonna happen. But it's fun.
I introduced my mom and dad to the joys of Korean street food videos. Blew their minds. You're putting what on a hot dog? Yeah. Or the way they do pancakes have like nothing to do with what we do here. Imagine a pancake batter that has whole asparagus in it, and that's a 40 pieces of whole asparagus or 20 pieces of whole asparagus with pancake batter, and then cauliflower. I mean, everything you can think every vegetable becomes a pancake.
So we're doing food again. Oh my God, the Korean pancakes. I've had a few, just like what do they make it? Like not the cabbage, I guess some kind of cabbage. Cauliflower? I don't know, but they use so many.
Yeah.
They use so many of those like clear vegetables or whatever vegetables, and they're so good. Steamy. They're so steamy. And fried.
The volcanic eggs, volcano eggs, yes.
I haven't tried. I'm not near in that category of the volcano egg.
The tornado egg. Sorry, tornado
egg. Right. We'll have to invent the volcano egg.
But my mom ended up watching like 2 hours of YouTube. First time she's ever done that in her life. Just over and over and over again. She grew up, she has restaurants in her blood, blah, blah, blah. And the smile that it put on her face, absolutely worth it. And my dad going, what? What are they putting on there? The Korean pizzas, they put on full baby beef back ribs on top of the pizza.
I just had some baby beef
covered
ribs.
in cheese on top of that. Yeah.
Do you think she's going to cook some or something?
Yeah, she's going to try. She's definitely going to try. Definitely going to try.
That's great. And then she'll call you up. She'll be like, I made this.
Waffle pizzas was the other one. That's probably the one she's going to try next.
Have you ever tried nachos on pizza? That's really nice.
Yes, I have.
Yeah.
No,
really
I've
good.
not. Just made nachos too. I just made all these things. I just haven't put them on a round paste.
Nacho waffle. Exactly, a nacho waffle.
Oh, it's good. That was a good blizzard though. But it's crazy because now it's plus 10 again.
Yeah, it's 42 here.
What's 42 in Canadian?
Probably plus 10, plus 13, somewhere around there.
It's about the same. Yeah, it just changed so fast, and I like it again. I really don't mind plus 10.
Everything that flash froze is unfrozen. And now we're getting floods everywhere. Well, we've got a bunch more hands raised, Sean. Thanks for calling
Very
in.
fun.
Take it easy, Sean.
Yeah, it was happy
Thanks,
holidays, guys.
Take it easy, bro.
And to
See
you.
you on December 35th.
Yes, 38.
Yeah.
18.
Yeah.
All right, guys, pick the next caller.
Well, let's have Kit. I hope it's a car.
Yep, we're giving you the signal to unmute.
Hey, how you doing?
Great. Where are you calling
Hey,
from?
Kit.
I'm in Tasmania. You know, the
Wow.
little
welcome to
island
the-
south of
How-
Australia.
How did it get
We're out
that
on-
far?
Yeah. Do you want to put your video on, Kit, or not?
I can do. This is going to be a bit of a challenge for me, but I'll do the
You can do it.
chicken shit.
You can do it.
Yeah.
You can do it.
Did I start it? What's happened? No. You cannot start your video because it's been stopped.
Oh, Joel?
You have to start it on your end.
I've
Oh, here
given
we
you an
go. Thanks.
invitation, so it should.
Okay.
It's still coming up with a red cross. It doesn't
No
want to let me
worries.
come on.
There we go.
There you go. We
You're
can see you now.
there. There you go, Kit.
I am. Where am I? I can't see myself.
That's
you-
all
we can
right.
see
We
you.
can see you.
Has anybody seen that video? Just a quick one. Has anybody seen the video of the people with the judge and they have that cat filter on it and they can't get it off? They're in like federal
No.
federal court, and he's got that video of the cat. And he's like, "Can't get it off, judge," and he's just the cat.
Oh, there now. I can
I'd highly
see
recommend
myself.
finding that.
Yeah.
What can we do for you, Kit?
So how's your weather in Tasmania, Kit?
Oh, up and down from one day to the next. It can be snowing, or yesterday we had a heat wave, so I had to put the aircon on for the first time. Yeah, it's crazy down here. But we've been, you know, they're geoengineering the weather down here, and I know you don't like to talk about that, but it seems to be happening anyway.
I've
But
been
I
hearing
actually
all kinds
wanted
of
to-
theories about stuff like that.
Time.
Somebody said there was they were controlling the weather with nuclear devices. There's been all kinds of silly conspiracy stuff about the weather recently.
Yeah, there's a lot of there's always a lot of sorry, I've lost my words. Craziness mixed up with truth, you know, so they try and steer it into the conspiracy theory instead of reality. And there's a lot of proof of, you know, documentation about what's actually going on with stratospheric aerial injection and cloud dimming and all the rest of it. Yeah, but I didn't want to talk about geoengineering. I wanted to talk
Can I
about
ask a
climate.
question, Kit? What's it like down there for Christmas Day? What kind of stuff do you do, and what type of food do you eat down in that part of the world?
Well, there's a lot of people that still do traditional European Christmas, but Australians are pretty much moved because it's usually hot and, you know, beach weather, and so we do prawns on the barbie. Yeah, a lot of salads and cold foods, but they still like the roast. I spent Christmas and Boxing Day on the floor mostly, but I do Christmas on the 24th because I'm from Denmark, which my mother's Danish. So, yeah, we celebrate early, and then I was wiped out and did my back in and spent Christmas lying on the floor doing the hermit. But I still am in good spirits about it all. You know, I've been able to maintain just being in the flow and the zone of where my body's at the time. So that was what I wanted to talk about, was time, because since I've retired, I have a totally different relationship with time. And it seems that, you know, it can drag, my day can, I don't know, time, it expands and contracts, and things can be just going slowly, and yet the years have suddenly over. You know, here we are in 23.
You're not a spring chicken anymore.
No,
You're
I'm
you're a summer hen, and summer hens don't see the same way as spring chickens. Spring chickens are full of
Exactly.
hormones and do. Okay. So
Yeah,
you
I
have
spend
to
a lot of
plot
my
and plan
time
different. You have to plot and plan differently.
I've learned to slow down. These last 3 years have just shifted me into that, because I've had some physical issues, not being able to walk, but that coincided with COVID. So everything has put me in a place to slow down, focus on myself, just be in the zone, go with the flow, always have a backup plan.
Why can't you walk?
No expectations about how things are going to be. Very accepting of everything. I feel more centered and grounded now than I certainly did 10 years ago when we were going, 2012.
So why do you have problem walking?
Oh, I developed a twisted hip, and that meant my leg wasn't sitting properly. And so I struggled with that. But I've been getting treatment. I've spent the last 3 years working on myself. It cost me a lot of money. It took a long time to find a really good practitioner who could help me with what was going on, because it's actually physical, structural. It's not organs. It's, my skeletal structure. So I felt a long time like I had a metal rod in my leg. Yeah, that's gone now, but I'm still struggling with walking. But it was like a deconstruction, or being reconstructed from inside out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's been challenging, but
yeah,
in a good way.
Do you have a chiropractor that works on you? What do you have, somebody who
Yeah,
works on
I finally found a good chiropractor last year. The first chiropractor I went to actually made it worse.
Yeah.
But I since have found an excellent chiropractor, an excellent body worker, and I've been improving since then. But the first year and a half was very slow. I had a few setbacks, a bad fall, a couple of things happened, whatever.
So people that
I'm still here. I'm still going. I'm still doing my daily practice.
People that have twisted hip like you, oftentimes when you were really young, you were an over leg crosser. Like whenever you'd sit, you'd cross your legs in a particular way that caused a body malformation in the muscles and in the bones. And a way to fix that is there's these special pillows you can buy that lock your feet straight and elevate your feet in such a way. It's a pillow for people who've just had major hip replacements. And I highly recommend that they are a little expensive. They're around $100, but it will absolutely change your daily life when your body gets locked in the exact right position to fall asleep. Because when you fall asleep, you go into the negative position without realizing it.
Yeah, I've been thinking about buying a new mattress too.
And not the mattress. It's an actual pillow that helps isolate you into the right sleeping position.
Right.
So it's a hip replacement pillow.
The knee pillow. There's a pillow that you can put between your knees.
Yes.
It just doesn't stay in place. I move around.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, it actually velcros to your body, so it stops you from rapidly turning over, which is what causes the issue. Yeah.
Okay. Oh, well, I'll investigate that. Thanks. Yeah.
Yeah, just go onto Amazon or something like that and look for hip replacement pillows. And you'll figure out like, oh, that's how it fits in there. That's how it keeps your body isolated into the right position.
Yeah. Cool.
So you said before you had something that you wanted to bring up?
No, I was just talking about time and how it seems to be compressed, but expands in the same moment. I don't know. It's been weird. Sometimes I feel like we've gone into mirror world. We're not in this. Then we've gone into
individually. You are experiencing that, but everyone else is also. It's a matter of what levels do they recognize it. And when you have those moments where time is elongated, what are you going to do with it? That's ultimately the question. What are you going to do with it?
Yeah, well, that's
what
a
positive thing can you do?
As a hermit.
Okay, you got to give away your hermit's card. Okay, you can't be a hermit no more. You're a high functioning hermit. Okay.
A new breed.
A new breed. Yeah, exactly.
I can just go back to my cave when I need to, you know. But I'm about 3 hours is about my limit out in the with other people.
All right, Kit, thanks a lot for calling in. We got to get to some other
Yeah, no
callers
worries.
before we end the
I'm
show.
happy to meet you all. I'm really loving the new platform, I have to say.
Thank
The
you.
new show. You guys are awesome together. And it's yeah, anyway, that's all I say. Thank you.
Thank you so
Thanks,
much, darling.
Kit. Thanks, Kit.
All right, guys, pick the next caller.
Dawn, I'm giving you a signal to unmute.
You actually got to speak up a little, Dale.
Dawn, we're giving
Can't
you
hear.
the signal to unmute.
There you go.
Hi,
Hi, where are you
Hi,
calling from?
Dawn.
I'm just outside Toronto.
Welcome to the show. What do you think of so far?
Oh, I love it. It's great. I was one of your first callers back in 2021. We did a timeline adjustment. I'll start my video. We went back on my timeline to figure out how old I was, and we went to my home planet. It was really fun. So here I am on the first day of 2023.
There you are. So what did 2022 do for you?
Oh, it was not a great year, I must admit. I had to transition my mother-in-law or ex-mother-in-law, but from an apartment onto a senior home and then into a long-term care home. So a lot of downsizing, and she's an ex-mother-in-law, but I still stepped up. And it was kind of hard to do that because I'm dealing with my kids' emotions and my old emotions and everything else, and then dealing with her not wanting to go in there, but it was for her own good. And I was powerless to do anything because I'm not her POA, but I did it anyway. So that was one thing. And I lost a lot of good friends this year from various things. So it was a hard year, but I'm coming through it.
What do you want to do for 2023?
I got to get out of the hermit stage. I'm like Kit. I'm retired and time goes in and out and contracts and expands. And I've been a hermit because of, the past 3 years. I am immune compromised. So I've been worried about that, but now I'm going to go out and do more. Get out there.
You need to make your own hermit revocation.
Yes, I do. I understand that.
Yeah. I, in this ever-present moment of now, give back my hermit card to the Hermits Union.
Absolutely. Yeah. I got to get out of my own comfort zone because I've created a sanctuary in my home and I got to get out of it and just go and do some things. And that's the biggest thing for 2023.
Mm-hmm. Have you gone to see the movie Avatar 2 yet?
I haven't. I will. My son just went and he said it was really good and I'm looking forward to getting
outstanding. The only thing I will tell you, it's 3 hours and 40 minutes, and tie your bladder in a knot or choose rapidly when you need to run to go pee before the scene ends.
Yeah, I will. No, I want to do that really badly.
No drinks before the show.
Yep, exactly. I also wanted to wish all of you a happy new year.
Happy New Year.
Oh, thank you very much.
Thank you, Dawn. Thank you.
And thank you. And the trip to Scotland, do you know what month you're looking at?
July.
July the 1st will be the date, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wonderful. Yeah,
Again,
I'd like to do it.
We're just waiting on the final contract to come from the company so we can actually hey, there it is, guys.
It's been dangling over us for so long.
Yeah, no, I love Scotland. I love Scotland. I'd love to see it again. It's been a long time. It's coming. Anyway, no, I just wanted to reach out and say Happy New Year, and thanks for answering my questions earlier about higher fluctuations and getting into high frequency, because I get there a lot and it's hard for me to come down because I'm being psychic and everything else. I'm always in high frequency. I'm always connecting, and it's hard for me to pull the plug, and hence I don't sleep much because I'm still plugged in.
Which is
so I'm learning how to pull the plug out.
It's one of the side effects of hermetism, that people stay in their happy place all the time, and for many people it would be too boring if they weren't hitting high frequency. I was guilty of this as well myself. I mean, I did achieve some pretty high magic and learned a lot of new stuff, but I really did lose a lot of social skills. Yeah. No, I still have social skills because I've got clients, so I'm always dealing with clients, and I've got long-term clients, so it's really nice to connect with them because they almost become friends. So it's nice. And then I am getting out with friends as well. I made a point of getting out for birthdays and Christmases this year, but it's still, it's nice to
get out of that high frequency every now and again. And it's hard sometimes to
Get away
unplug.
from spirituality. Spirituality can totally start to work against you like that when it's 24/7 in your face.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, ancestors around me a lot. And like I just dealt with an old trauma that I didn't even know existed on Christmas Day, because I was feeling anxious about going up to my sister's for Christmas, and it's a family gathering. And I finally dived into the trauma to find out what was causing it. And it went back to when I was 7 years old, and I cleared that out. So I feel wonderful about that. I did that on Christmas or Boxing Day. All gone.
Well, Dawn, thanks for calling in and wishing us a happy new year. And you are a caller on 2021. We're going to make this a habit. 2023, 2024, you're going to call in January 1st.
I will.
Okay.
It's another habit. Thank you very much.
I remember
we're starting
2022 like
again.
it was yesterday.
Bye, Dawn.
Hi, Dawn. Thanks for
Bye.
calling in.
Yeah.
I love that. I remember 2022 like it was yesterday.
That's good. All right, let's make this our last caller. Let's let you guys pick.
Go on, Laura. You have a go.
Well, Julie was next on the screen, I think. Julie.
Julie, signal to unmute.
Hello.
Hello.
Hiya.
Where are you
Aloha.
calling from? Where are you calling from?
I'm calling from Hawaii.
Hawaii. Welcome to the show. How you doing today?
I've been doing pretty good. I just made my breakfast.
Breakfast. Oh, it's right. You're 5 hours, but 5 hours behind us. So it's like 2 o'clock for you there, 1 o'clock.
Yeah, it's still late for breakfast, but
What's end of brunch?
yeah, in the middle.
Yeah. So what did you do for the holidays?
What did I do? Not too much, actually. Just it was different this year than many other years because my ex and I broke up. So usually I would go to his family's place. So it was kind of being on my own again and going back to those. I don't know.
So do you have any questions you want to ask us?
No, actually, I kind of wanted to speak some light language to you.
Okay. Well, go ahead. I'll speak
If
light
you
language
didn't
back.
mind.
Go right ahead.
Okay. All right. Kura mahina ora ini cara terutama. Yara sarara karatnya ta krasnu. Bako pasti karam diam yang ketika tasku. Tikana si berapa isi usti asti.
Yeah, you're speaking a little person's light language.
What is that?
Have you had a lot of working with little people? Subterranean
Little
little
people?
people? Yeah. That's an
What do you
actual
mean by
physical earth little people light language. The Dumbara.
what do you exactly mean by little people?
1.5 to 2.5 foot tall people. They're people.
Like the
They're a
Fae?
physical race, like a Fae, but they're not really Fae. They're people. They're
Mhm.
multidimensional
Yes,
beings.
right.
Yes, that's
Yeah,
an
I'm
actual
very
language from them. The Dumba, they operate in subterranean tunnels and come to the surface on a regular basis to harvest flowery type stuff, and then they bring it to their subterranean tunnels that have artificial light. So they're like these giant flower farms is the best way to describe it, and then they harvest the pollen and do magic with the pollen. Because what you were talking about is a pollen harvest. What you were actually speaking was a pollen harvesting ritual.
That's interesting. I remember because I had spoken to some years back with light language as well, and I remember you saying it was part of the dragon riders as well.
Mm-hmm. This is a different light language, though. Your frequency is different now, also.
Yeah.
So I'll speak something back to you in the Dumba language. Ris no jinda, olerdidengindi, shorunda dashtundi, ni jununda, rusty, yaslon, shinikong ding, which is the baseline to the harvesting of the pollen and what's done, the magic that's done on the pollen afterwards, and then how it's inhaled into the body as a changing of light, because pollen is the storing of light from the flowers.
Okora secara siga karpa secara siga ke kar mutasi ke erke rutu tutu maya
Addie, Laura, you guys, Dale, you guys want to answer back?
Ele betel, pukulila ma teket, kantakali te betel elemet, koloko huntakali elemet, koloko toko hunko, opotoko humpoto huntehet, tehel mallehet, moholo hullehet. The imagery is beautiful, just looking.
Ora rasa rempren pre kresar tu poruta presisi sekarendera ir ter kecurunduras kata Thank you. I guess there was one other thing I just wanted to mention that had just kept popping up. Sorry, I'm just shifting some light language to this, but it feels like, I don't know, I kept thinking 2023, like it just feels like it's in the past. Like it feels like a past year, like I've already lived it.
You did. But you just don't remember it.
Yeah.
So with that knowledge, what can you do?
Hopefully use that knowledge to the best of my ability.
Even though you don't know it yet.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, anyway, thank you. I just always like to have the opportunity to speak with others. That's like, I mean, very nice. So thank you.
We've got plenty of light language shows coming up this year. So be sure to come and join us and speak with us. So we're going to expand on that particular subject matter.
That's nice. Oh, and I just heard you guys are going to Scotland. That's really awesome. I love Scotland so much. When I visited, it's really special to me. In fact, I posted on my Facebook for New Year's. It was Hogmanay, happy Hogmanay, and I played a video of the pipers playing, and someone had posted a quote that said, "You put a piper in the I forget the quote now, but something about like you put a piper to lead in the bow, you can lead in the bowels of hell, because of the pipe."
You do hear the pipes quite a lot in the UK, actually, even in England. Quite often we'll have people on the weekends on the streets playing the bagpipes. It's the most incredible sound. You can hear it from so far away, and it just the droning, and it has such a unique frequency. It kind of gets you right in the pride button.
It's just like it brings the spirit. It feels like heaven just flowing through you.
All right, guys. Julie, thanks a lot for calling in. We're going to call it an end to the show. Thank you for sharing your light language, and keep on light languaging.
Definitely.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Thanks.
All right.
Thanks, Julie.
All right, let's call it end to the show. We shall be back on Thursday, the 7th, I believe. Yes, we will be back Thursday, the 7th at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for another crazy adventure wacky show. And since we've pre-planned some shows, and considering I didn't change it yet, I believe I believe our first show is going to be about what, Laura?
Light language.
Light language.
Colonics.
Light language colonic show.
for the new year. It's your New Year colonic.
There you go. All right, guys. Go ahead.
If anybody wants a revocation of spiritual censorship, do you think I can safely put it on the Facebook page, Andrew?
Yes, put it on the Facebook page. We can also put it into the show description here. Just give it to Joel afterwards.
Yeah, I'll put it on Two Feathers Medicine. Okay, thanks,
and
guys.
If anybody would like any psychic surgery sessions with my many hands, I've got a discount in January as well. I'm going to put up in the next few days.
Buy one hand, get one hand free.
Yeah, pretty much.
Get 3 free.
It'll be extra time given as well in the session. So,
and you can book private sessions with myself and Laura at twofeathersmedicine.com. Just click on either one of us.
Yep. And you can go to my website, andrewbartzis.com, and also sign up for new sessions and all of the different things that we've got coming up. All right, Joel, take us away.
All right. And just a quick heads up, that's Thursday the 5th.
Thursday the 5th.